the meeting of your Strategic Planning Subcommittee. I'm Councillor Steve Hunt and I am chair of this particular committee. So can I please remind you all that this meeting is being recorded, as you've just heard from Chloe. Please can I ask you that everyone switches their microphones to mute and your mobile phones to silent for the duration. And if you wish to ask a question, please raise your electronic hand. And I believe Chloe has put in the chat that for Welsh translation, how to activate the, if you want to hear that in English with the 3 dots. So that's there in the chat for you. So if I move on to the first agenda item this afternoon, declarations of interest. Could I ask any member who would like to make a declaration of interest based on today's agenda items? And then if there are any, Chloe will confirm this for me.
I see no indications, Chair.
Thank you, Chloe. Agenda item 3 then are the minutes of our previous meeting, which are set out on pages 3 to 8. The minutes of the meetings were from the 19th of May 2025 and are included on pages 3 to 8, as I said, of your agenda pack, and they are here for approval. Can I ask any member who were at that meeting if they have any comments on the accuracy of those minutes? I don't see anybody with any comments, so I'm now happy to propose that the minutes are an accurate record of that meeting. Please could I have a seconder from a member of this committee, if you would, please.
I can see Councillor Jacob Williams has seconded that.
Yeah. Thank you, Chloe. I see Jacob with his hand up. Thank you, Jacob. So members, if you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand, I will assume that you're content with the accuracy of those minutes.
I see no indications of the contrary, Chair, so those minutes have been approved.
Okay, thank you again, Chloe. So if I move on to agenda item 4, which is the Strategic Development Plan update. Again, you'll find this update on pages 9 to 12. As I said, the report will be found on 9 to 12 of your agenda pack. Could I please now bring in Lana Bainan to provide us an overview of the report? We'll take questions after Lana's given us an overview. So over to you, Lana, please. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, all. So I'm Lana Bainan, I'm the Planning Policy Manager for Neath Talbot Council, and I'm here on behalf of Nicola Pearce and Kerry Morris. The report I'm presenting to you today provides members with an update on the recruitment process, which will enable progress to be made on the Strategic Development Plan delivery agreement only. So in accordance with the Town and Country Planning SDP Wales regs, Welsh Government mandated the preparation and adoption of an SDP in each of the 4 regions of Wales via the CJC structures. And as you know, the SDP forms part of a suite of development plans which will inform the planning system across Wales to address issues such as regional housing markets and economic opportunity areas. So following the recommendation made by the Strategic Planning Subcommittee of the South West Wales CJC on the 19th of May 2025, the full South West Wales CJC considered 2 options for progressing the SDP at its meeting on the 27th of May 2025 and endorsed the preferred option, which was to recruit an experienced planning policy officer to lead the preparation of the delivery agreement for the South West Wales SDP. Delivery agreement will include a timetable for preparation of the plan, a community involvement scheme setting out who, when and how stakeholders will be engaged and consulted, and provides the staff and financial resources required to deliver the SDP. It includes the risks associated with developing the plan and also along with the monitoring and review process required. I must stress that preparing the delivery agreement does not commit the region to full SDP development until such time as additional funding is secured from the Welsh Government. So the approach we've taken to recruitment, so due to time pressures and given Neath Talbot Council is a designated land use planning lead authority for the region, the agreed approach has been to create a secondment opportunity for a regional principal policy officer to be hosted by Neath Talbot Council's planning policy team, which is my team. This approach is considered to offer the most efficient and pragmatic solution. So on the 6th of August last month, I issued correspondence to all constituent local planning authorities across the region, inviting expressions of interest for the secondment opportunity. Those interested were requested to submit a brief outline of relevant experience and availability by the 13th of August 2025 deadline. We received one expression of interest, and subject to further discussion with that officer, together with the completion of all the relevant HR forms, it is anticipated that progress can now be made to secure the secondment. So in order to facilitate the funding and arrangements for the post, a service level agreement between Neath Talbot Council and South West Wales CJC is already underway. And lastly, then, from a financial perspective, there are sufficient resources available in the reserves following the receipt of the recently announced £200,000 from Welsh Government to cover the cost of preparing and securing adoption of the delivery agreement only. There are, however, insufficient resources available to progress beyond the delivery agreement stage. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Alana, for that update report. Can I just ask before I go to members for any questions, if any other officer wanted to add anything further for members' benefit? I don't see any hands up from officers. Okay, I'll go to members now on what Lana has given us an update on this very important strategic development plan. As we all know how important it really is, and of course, one plea from me to the politicians on the call is that, and I know Rob Stewart, Swansea and Darren and John, we need to continue lobbying Welsh Government for the funding to deliver the strategic development plan. This is all well and good on an officer in place, which is a step forward like all the regions have done, but we really need to deliver this strategic development plan. So it's just a plea from me. I know you're doing it anyway, but I'd like you to all bear that in mind at any opportunity to lobby as often as you can. So now I'll open it up to any questions on Lana's update report from members, if anybody anything they'd like to ask to be clear on. I don't see anybody. I believe it was, oh, wait a minute. David, do you want to come in?
I just think it's a sensible way forward. I think the report is quite clear. There's clear recommendations there. And I certainly would endorse that way forward. I think it is a sensible way forward. So I'd like to thank everyone for their input so far.
Oh, dear, David. And as you said, a lot of work has gone into this from officers right across the region. So excellent. So Lana, thank you for that. I don't see any further hands up. And again, this report is for information purposes only. However, can I just ask members on the call to show their hands in support, because I think that's also important to the content of the report to approve it. Yeah. Excellent.
Yep.
That's fabulous. Chloe, you've got that? Okay. Yep. If I move on to agenda item 5, which is the forward work programme, and again, you'll find this report on pages 13 to 16 of your papers. It's the subcommittee report, obviously, for, as I said, on 13-16. And as you can see from the items that pertain to the progress of the delivery agreement, I just wanted to check with members or officers if they have anything to add on the forward work programme. So Chloe, I don't know if you want to come in with any advice or information, or any other officer or members who may want to add anything to that forward work programme. So Chloe, over to you first.
Yeah, Chair, it's just the forward work programme, as you can see. I know most of the items pertain to the delivery agreement, as you've just mentioned. So obviously officers will work with us in the background to update that going forward. But obviously it's members' opportunity to add on there as they wish. Doesn't have to be in a meeting setting. They can request via email or just get in touch with one of the officers. But yeah, it's a working document. So anytime anybody wants something to consider for one of the future meetings, just let us know.
Excellent, thank you, Chloe. David, you had your hand up?
Well, now is the appropriate time to do it, but I think it's only right and proper that we highlight some of the big issues that NRW have created for the region, particularly with the marine sack that affects Swansea, Pembroke, and I know Carmarthenshire as well. And I think as a region, I know Tom is being very active on this from Swansea. And I think it would be only right and proud with the Tom and we're able just to say, because this will impact our development plan and strategic going forward. So don't know whether there is any opportunity where we could expect a briefing on this from as a region. I don't know whether Tom is ready to give us anything at the moment.
No, I think you raised a good point there, but I go to Tom for information from him before I add my little bit, David, but thank you for raising that. Tom, if you'd like to come in.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Thanks, David. It's you know, it obviously overlaps with the final item there, number 6, in terms of urgent items, and it is the most significant that's come up for us as a region and as a, you know, the CJC as a body to deliver on these strategic issues. As Councillor Hopkins has highlighted there, it's affecting a number of our authorities. So we're at the stage really relatively early on in terms of having to digest the implications for all of us, I think, and to work through, well, in particular, you know, what are the solutions? How are we going to work collaboratively between authorities, as a CJC potentially, with nutrient management boards, with Welsh Government, with Dŵr Cymru, and obviously with NRW. So there's a big task upon us now in terms of how we work across agencies and local and national government on this. So I think there is at the moment, I think it's a question mark for this for the CJC. I think is probably the fairest way to put it in terms of what the role of the CJC will need to be in terms of advancing this this work now, and how it plays a role, as I say, in terms of the collaborative nature of the work, because none of us as individual authorities can or should be doing, you know, responding to this individually. We need a collective response. So I think you know, probably a few future sessions now we are going to have to come and take stock of where we are.
Thanks for that, Tom, and David, thank you for raising it. Before I bring Chloe back in, I mean, as a forward work programme item, I think it's a necessity. It's an important part of what we do. I don't know what stage, you know, I can relate to Chloe after, but it's certainly this committee as a subcommittee needs to have that as part of our work. We need to have the relevant officers and agencies perhaps giving us more of an update, even a Welsh Government official, you know, within the planning circumstances. So I think Chloe can take something away, working with the heads of services and corporate directors within the relevant regional councils, so that we can certainly have this at a time when we need to discuss it, but with, as Tom suggested, with the relevant information that we can understand and sort of have an input on, because it is going to affect a lot of our local authorities, some more than others. I mean, Neath Talbot probably got off the lightest in what I am seeing and hearing already as a leader of the authority. So I'm sure all members and officers would agree with that. But Chloe, do you want to come in on the professional way of how this fits in now of the work that you may need to do behind the scenes to bring this forward as an item for us to deal with or discuss going forward.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Chair, obviously on the detailed in the forward work programme are the upcoming dates of this subcommittee. I appreciate the next one isn't until January. So if officers are minded to provide an update to you before then that's something we can certainly arrange. If it needs to be a special, we can certainly arrange that. But we can definitely pick that up with officers in the background on email, and then we'll update you accordingly. Yeah, but we'll manage to fit it into a slot, whether it's a special or one of the upcoming meetings.
I appreciate that, Chloe. I'm sure we're all in agreement that as and when we need to have a conversation ourselves in this forum, you'll be happy to do so. And I'll work with Chloe and all the partners to try and facilitate that as soon as we possibly can, bearing in mind the information that we might need to have at hand. Is everybody happy with that as a way forward for this subcommittee? Brilliant. Okay. On the forward work programme, I know we moved into that urgent item, and I'll get to there. So the forward work was for noting as well. You know, so again, I wouldn't mind having a show of hands from members on what we've just discussed as to the content to note the forward work programme and what we've just decided again. So it looks good that we're all on the same page, and Chloe can take a record of that then.
Yep, that's good, Chair.
That's fabulous. Okay then, so as Tom sort of alluded to and David brought it up at that point, urgent items, that would have been an urgent items, but can I just see if anybody else got any other urgent items for today's meeting? I just want to ask if anybody wanted to raise anything at this point.
Chair, just to jump in, yeah, there's no urgent items as such. That's just a matter that we could pick up under future forward planning.
Yeah.
So we didn't have any urgent reports as such.
Yeah. Being this is a short meeting, Chloe, I do like these meetings of this nature, but I just check in just in case somebody had anything that they wanted to raise within this forum. That's all that was. I might have referred you to urgent item, which is not, but apologies for that. But I just wanted to see if there was anything further they wanted to confirm or ask about. If not, then therefore, I will now call this meeting to a close. I can only thank you all for your attendance. These meetings are important.